What do you need right now? Ask yourself that question. What do you need right now? And how might it be possible to get what you need? Asking that question is actually really important. And it's different to what do you want? Rather, what do you need? What is your most profound, fundamental need right now? The reason that I ask this question relates to this week's Torah portion, which is the portion of Chukat. And in this week's Torah portion, Miriam, the prophet, dies. And when she dies, the people have no water. It could be that these two things are unrelated. Miriam died, and then the people noticed they had no water. But for the rabbis of Talmud and Midrash, there is nothing that is not connected. And so for the rabbis, the fact that as Miriam died, the next thing we read is there was no water. The rabbis say these two things are causally connected. And so they talk of the idea of Miriam's well, that traveled with the people and gave them water while she was alive. And connecting Miriam with water is really interesting. At the end of Havdalah, the ritual at the end of Shabbat, the traditional words Eliyahu Hanavi, we sing a song about Elijah the prophet. In many, perhaps most Reform circles, we also sing Miriam Hanaviyah. We sing a song to Miriam the prophet. And that's really interesting because Miriam being connected with water, and Saturday night was also connected with water. Because women wouldn't draw water during Shabbat, but as soon as Shabbat went out, they would go to their wells and would draw water. So invoking Miriam on a Saturday night at the moment of drawing water is particularly interesting. And Miriam is a prophet, and it's really worth remembering that. There are female prophets in the Bible. Miriam is the first female prophet to be named as such. And when Moses leads the people in song as they have left Egypt, earlier in the book of Exodus, Miriam also leads the women in song. But the people panic in this week's Torah portion. They panic because there's no water, because they realize that is a fundamental need. And so we are left to ask the question, which I think is an important question that we all ask ourselves regularly, is what do I need right now? And then, once we've been able to answer that, we can ask the next question, which is what do those around me need as well? Or, to put it another way, what do those around me need from me? Because there may be things that they need that we can't help them with. But, conversely, there may be things that they need that we can help with. So I think that Miriam's passing in this week's Torah portion and the immediate loss of water and the people panicking, I think it sends a really nice moral message to us. To really pay attention, what do I need right now? And what do those around me need from me as well? We have to answer the first before we can answer the second, although maybe sometimes they're connected. I invite you to join us for our Kabbalat Shabbat service this evening. Fred, as always, will be accompanying. I'll be helping to lead, and joining me, very happy to have back on the bima, Rabbi Jenny, who's going to be leading the service with me. And she'll be playing guitar and ukulele and piano and other things. And so it's going to be a lovely service. Again, we encourage you to join us for that. And for tomorrow, our Torah study is on Chukat, is on this Torah portion, but not on the death of Miriam. Instead, we'll be looking at this extraordinary ritual of the red heifer, which is a purely red cow that is born and is basically turned into a paste, and it's the paste, the ashes and so on, is used to purify the people, but the person performing the ritual themselves become impure. It's a really extraordinary, very bizarre part of Torah with some really fascinating commentaries. So I hope you'll join us for that and for our Shabbat Shacharit service after that. And so as we move into Shabbat, traditionally, we don't ask God for things that we need on Shabbat. Our tefillah, our Shabbat Amidah, is much shorter traditionally. But nonetheless, as we go into Shabbat, we can still definitely ask ourselves, what do I need? And if you need something from us, or from me, please don't hesitate to be in touch. I wish you Shabbat Shalom.